It's Monday evening, everybody. Episode 43, Evening Hour Live. And here we go. Cheers. Mondays are my favorite day of the week, folks. Cheers. All right, we got people coming in. Come on in. All right. Yeah, here we go. Let's move it to vinyl. And hit it. There we go. How are you, everybody? Welcome. This is my evening hour show. My name's Cardone. If you're new in here, welcome. I got a crowd in here. I got Corey, William, Amanda, Sharky. What's up? Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Quickly, let me move this down a bit. Let's see. Amanda won a prize last week, and I gotta say, I didn't send it out today. I was gonna send it out today, but I packed it. So it'll go out tomorrow. Talon, come on in. And you know, last week, Friday, I had a giveaway because it was episode 600. No, it was subscriber 666. I have a hiccup. Oh. Anywho, I think I'm going to give away a prize every week now. I think I'm going to have a giveaway every Friday. So, who knows? I have a lot of things. I mean, you can see here, I got lots of stuff. And I do give lots of things away here and there. I have lots of things that I've produced over the years. Posters, stickers, t-shirts, right? And I don't mind spreading them around. So, if you guys are having fun with that, I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, by the way, Sangria Señorial. This is a non-alcoholic soda that tastes like wine. My gods, if you're like me and don't drink, this is cool. This tastes good. I put it on ice. I don't know if that's the preferred method, but yeah, I love this stuff. So how's it sounding and looking? It's Monday. Tonight, I was going to do I didn't know if it was going to be a wild card or not, but I decided to do one called Modern Music, Love or Hate. We'll get into that. I really want you guys to participate in this tonight. Everybody has something to say about music. It's a pretty popular subject. When Ali G asked Donald Trump what the most popular thing is in the world, Trump said, music? And Ali G went, no, ice cream. If you've ever seen Ali G and Trump interact, it's priceless. Trump did not know it was a joke. It was pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, Friday night, folks. If you were here, I did a Behind the Devil's Curtain episode, and I gotta say, wow. Big turnout, big response. I thought I was going to get some debaters. Yeah, some master debaters. That sounds funny. Master debaters. Blah, blah. Yes, I thought I was going to get master debaters in there that were going to try to throw some curveballs at me. And I was ready for it, but I didn't get any, which is fine. Sasha Baron Cohen's kind of a comedic genius, is he not? Yeah, so Friday went well. A lot of meat in that episode. And I always miss little nuggets of things. And I didn't miss much. Yeah. Do you realize this? So my show on Friday was on the historicity of Jesus. Literally, like, as a looking at it from a historian point of view, was he a real guy or was it just legend made into history? And one of the things that's interesting is there's been a peer-reviewed book that came out in the last 8 to 10 years on the historicity of Jesus. But the book that came out before that was in 1923. That's how much people stay away from that subject. Even atheistic historians. Think about that. There's no books written on the subject. Now, one argument could be, well, because he's a real guy. But if you go watch Behind the Devil's Curtain, episode 9, and you tell me that there's no way, after what I learned, something's off. And now I'm starting to do a little bit of research on another book called The Gospel of Thomas. And that's got crazy stuff in it, too. He retired his undercover... Oh, yeah. Yeah. So when you do comedy... So right now we're living in a world where comedians have to be careful, which is not cool. And I'm a free speech advocate, a big one. And I mean all speech, bad and good. And yeah, comedy's one of the first ones to get attacked. Because comedians are doing what is being forbade. They're crossing the line. That's what comedy kind of relies on, is you crossing some sort of line, some sort of normalcy, some sort of taboo. So folks, if you're new in here, hit the subscribe and notify bell. That's the least you can do. I do take donations. They all go into the show. If you look around, well, you can't look around, but I got a new mic, a brand new nice camera, and everything in this show is paid for from the donors, and I'm not even at 1,000 yet. So what the heck? Thank you, everybody. Whoever's in here that's the donors, great. A lot of people don't donate, but they do something maybe that's even better, and that is they share and they pass the news that there's this show that I do. And to that, I raise a glass. Thank you. Everybody have a good weekend. Yeah, comedy is important. Being able to make fun of things, even things that are sacred, important. Being able to say mean things in a comedic situation, I think is important. So, I'm going to do a show one day on free speech. That's definitely in my thing. It's weird now. If you go hard on the I'm pro free speech route, it starts to lean now to the right. Although in the 80s it did too, because we had the PMRC and there was a lot of quote, left-leaning people involved in that, which boggles my mind. I didn't quite understand. I think the problem is the line has moved around a bit. If you have the political spectrum of 70s and 80s, that line here, let's say Republican, Democrat, it's done a weird shift. And even Obama, I think, said he was, I forget what his quote was. If anybody knows it, throw it in there, about how he basically counts as a Republican politically at this point. Somebody like Obama, because of how it went. And the free speech issue gets put in that kind of right-leaning edge now, which is very weird for me, because I don't think of myself left or right, actually. So what else is new before we get into this subject? Check this out, a new little find. If anybody has little kids, you might really like this. This, the hell? Sorry. This is a new game that I found. Look at this. It's the old Candyland game, and they did a Lucky Charms edition, and I really like this. Hasbro put this out. I don't think you can buy it in any store. It's on the Lucky Charms website. So if you go to Lucky Charms or Post Mill Cereal, they have the Lucky Charms game. I'll do a better... This camera's now the far superior. Yeah. I love this. Oh, here, let me show you the back. The back has a little cute little unicorny. Yeah. So if you're a game weirdo like me, now, as we all know, Candyland ain't that hard to play. And you can accidentally win. I like this for collectability, and I also... Oh, yeah, it is cute, right? Yeah, Fallon, comedy is a great catharsis, and we do need it more than... That's true, yeah. Way more now. Fallon, I found a cool picture of you and me hanging out at Peter's house. I'll send it to you. I was going through photos today. It was a Halloween photo. Your outfit is nuts and amazing. Libra Liz just asked, what's everyone's favorite Lucky Charms shape? Well, they do have meanings, each one, and I am going to do an episode on junk cereal, so I'm not going to yap too much about it. Hey, Fran, my mom is in here. My mama watched the Jesus episode. I remember she said she didn't want to watch it, and then she watched it, and she told me she liked it, so cool. You know, when you do those controversial episodes, they do spin people into weird directions, and so my mama is of the old generation, but she's open-minded and educated and sharp as a knife, so thanks, mama. My favorite Lucky Charm shape is the purple horseshoe. And the reason is I remember the day it was released. It was a new shape in the early 80s. And I have all this info on a box. They did a 50th anniversary Lucky Charms box where they were all green, the marshmallows, in one box. They were all four-leaf clovers. I'll show it on the episode. So I like the purple horseshoes because I remember they had to change the song. And purple horseshoes. They had to like add it on. And I do like the rainbow a lot. That's one of the newer ones. I am going to do one on junk cereals. That's definitely coming. Sooner than later. It's on the dock. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Oh, Wednesday's episode. Ooh, Boo Berry. I'm a Boo Berry fan too. Oh, yes. I think I'm going to do on Wednesday an episode on my favorite books I read as a really little kid. And, I mean, they really shaped me. Like, a lot. They're a big influence. My books I was raised on. And I'm going to show you my favorite one now. I was telling Sharky all about this. Sharky, remember I told you this book was worth like $200? The reason why the value dropped is it got reprinted, which is why I'm showing everyone now. Anybody out there that likes weird books or has kids or has grandkids and wants to get a book to read to them? Bada bing. Right here. Grandpa's Ghost Stories by James Flora. This is definitely my favorite fiction book when I was a kid. I read it thousands of times. And if I'm ever asked to read a book out loud for children, that's the book I read. This was valuable up until very recently. This was a few $100s for one of these. This is a paperback edition. The reason is, look, it's a Xerox publication. Xerox, oops, there we go. Xerox, focus. Xerox published this in 1980 or 79. 1978. So I've had this for a long time. Anywho, I'm going to do an episode on my favorite kid books. Oh, Talon? You're eating... Now, let me ask, do you get the roof of the mouth bit that hurts when you eat Captain Crunch? Because I don't. I got calluses. I have, like... there was a point in my life where I ate Captain Crunch literally daily for 5-6 years. Nonstop. I did. You remember the little Soggy and the little Captain Crunch that was blue and the little glow-in-the-dark Soggy and the little green little silver robot toy? At one point, I had so many I didn't know what to do with them. I wish I saved them all. Now I only have a few. I'll show you on the episode. I mean, junk cereal is a really big part of my life. My first toy I brought into school for show and tell was a junk food premium. So we'll be talking about that. But tonight, yeah, see? You already got it. $13. So Sharky ordered one for $13 on Amazon. It's a reprint. It's a hardback reprint. And I told Sharky, she's got nephews. I was like, that's the one. Like, it's a good book to read. It's got a really good story. It's actually a little scary, which I think kids need to experience. And it's got lots of onomatopoeia, colorful words that sound like what they are. Cool. I can't wait to hear after you've read it to the little ones, like if they liked it. Well, tonight we're going to talk about pop music. And what is pop? What does it mean? And I really, please participate. I want to hear thoughts. I'm known to have music rants. I'm going to move a little closer. I'm also going to turn the tunes down. Let me know how it sounds, if I should be a little louder or not. Cool, we got a nice group in here. Come on in, people. So, I mean, I don't even know how to define pop music at this point. But when I was little, I listened to popular music, radio music. Neil Diamond, Michael Jackson, Van Halen was on the radio. Whitney Houston, the Pointer Sisters, right? There were all these popular things that were just on, and I listened to them. Why? Because they were on the radio. But there was also rock and roll radio, which was popular. AC/DC was wildly popular, you know? So when I think of modern pop, it's a kind of a specific thing. It's not one genre anymore, because sometimes I hear country music that sounds like pop music, and I hear the hip hop and R&B stuff that's clearly pop music. I hear rock and roll too. Sometimes it's clearly pop music. And I will say that it's pop most likely because of how it's produced. The way it sounds. And I say this a lot to people that play me new songs. Like my daughter likes some pop music, and she'll play me a song. Or anybody will just say, hey, listen to this. And I'll tell them, I'll say, look, I actually don't hate that song. I can't stand what they did to the production. They produce it a certain way for a reason. And that's what we're going to chat about tonight. So to me, pop music has a new meaning. It's almost like music made on purpose so that lots of people like it. And part of that process is in the production end, they actually now have formulas, principles, and some tricks, and some science to help them make more money that they're using in its construction. That's what I'm going to say. So for instance, like right now, Facebook or YouTube, gotta watch what you say these days, they're literally designed to keep you on the platform. And they're designed to give you the dopamine blast, pa, 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 on a certain way so that you keep coming back for more. And I joke all the time. I forget who I said it to a month ago. I said, imagine in the future, drug dealers won't need to sell you drugs. They'll get you addicted to a chemical that you secretly produce in your brain. And the person I told it to were like, whoa, that's crazy. I hope that never happens. And I was like, your phone, bro. That's what it is. They designed it. Just like McDonald's. That's why I'm fascinated by McDonald's. Everything's designed to be perfect. The bun, the feel of the bun, the color of the bun, the smell, right? Everything. They don't forget any details. Even the box it's put in. How does that enhance the flavor? They really do think of these things. They have to. You know, they're involving so much time and energy. They want to make a lot of money, and they do put the effort in. So music's the same way. R&B, EDM, that's another genre. I put that in the pop music category too. I mean, so, well, what makes up a song? You got melody, rhythm, Um, timbre, and what's the other one? There's another one that fits into those three. But anywho, those are the main things, right? Those are the things that you can play with on a song because it's audio. There's no visual, right? We'll just assume there's no visual. All right, so here's my thoughts, and that we're gonna work backwards. I'm basically gonna do the rant, and then we'll go backwards. So most people are shocked when they hear I don't listen to any hip hop, except for a couple really old hip hop groups. And they'll say, "Why don't you like hip hop, man? What's wrong with you?" And it makes me nuts because it's everywhere. It has permeated sports. Anytime you watch an extreme sport video now, I mean, it's always either techno, hip hop. A lot of hip hop, a lot of techno. It's just everywhere. It's popular. And I remember when it came out and it's, how it journeyed. And I never enjoyed it unless it's the really old stuff. So when I was really little, I remember hearing Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. And I liked it. I did. I liked it right away. I thought, wow, okay. I actually, my whole life, have always loved African-American culture, whether it be the music, the jazz and the blues and all the stuff that came out of the scene. I've always liked blaxploitation films. Blackula, I love. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And when I heard hip hop, it made sense to me. The first time I heard it, I was like, wow, I'm literally getting to hear a glimpse of what it's like to live in the hood from these guys' point of view. And I'm a kid from PA, right? I get a little bit of a glimpse, right? And it had a beat that you could break dance to, which I liked when I was little. And it made sense. I could understand the lyrics. And the sampling that they were doing really was like a record being played. It wasn't like digitally processed again. Like it didn't have another layer of like this weird processed sound. Ah, yeah, we're going to get this. Oh, yeah, no mid-range Fallon. It's really weird now. So when I heard hip-hop, I liked it. I thought the lyrics were cool. I could follow the story, right? There was a poetry to it, but that poetry also kind of followed the rules of drama. It also had a lot of character in it that I could understand. Like each rapper in the group had a character, an archetype. There was the cowboy, there was the ladies' man. They each had like almost like a superhero characteristic. And I got it. It made sense. And I listened to that, and I listened to Sugar Hill Gang and all the early guys. And then I remember when it started getting a little popular, Curtis Blow. That was like radio stuff at that time. It's starting to get played on the radio a little bit. And then Run DMC and the Beastie Boys. And I'm going to be honest, I was never a Beastie Boys fan. Never, no way, never. It sounds blasphemous to a lot of people, but just didn't get it. There was a pantheon of 1 billion bands. I always knew life is short, so why waste your time on things you sort of like, right? Go for what you like and go deep. That's what I've always done. Always. If I sort of like it, I don't bother. Why? Because there's plenty of other stuff, and I don't have to like that. There's no need. So when they started mixing hip-hop and rock and metal and stuff, I just didn't get it. I thought it ruined both genres. It just didn't work for me. It was kind of forced, it seemed. And at that point in my life, by the time I was 13, 14, 15, I was out, man. I listened to punk rock, hardcore, metal, thrash metal. I loved jazz. I liked show tunes and opera. I liked it all, except for the new pop and the new hip hop and the new country and the EDM stuff and the technos. And when someone would say why, well, I could explain it. I just would never say I don't like it. I never like it when people go, I like all music. And then you go, why? And they go, oh, I just like it all. Okay, well, that's weird. That's a sign for me to stay away from them. Um, I like it when people go, no, I like this and here's why. And I don't like that because here's why. So I learned how to voice my opinion. I didn't like what I was hearing because I like to play instruments. I am no virtuoso on any instrument I own. None. Or play. And I've been in bands that have been on world tours. So I claim no expertise in playing instruments. None. I can play bass, guitar, drums, sing a little, and play the piano a little. But I am not an expert. I come from punk rock school. It's very simple, but I still really try to make it myself better. I'm not like I'm done learning. I'm always learning. Always. I'm constantly learning new stuff about music. So when I'm listening to a hip hop song, let's say, one more thing. I never listen to lyrics first. I listen to lyrics last. Most people listen to lyrics first. It's very popular to do that. It's what speaks to them immediately. Me, it's the last thing I hear. I'm listening to the music. I want to hear if the tune itself, the melody, and the drive and the energy in it goes somewhere or does something to me specifically. Not with the words in it yet. After I get the vibe, then I'll start listening to the words. And so when I'm listening to music, I'm listening to the instruments, how they're being played, and how they're layered in there. I mean, I like stuff that's recorded live in the studio, like it would be if you played live. But I get tracking. I understand it's a different medium. That's fine. But eventually, if you're tracking it on a record, you're going to play it live. So it should get close, So I'm like, what am I supposed to listen for? The drums are fake. There's no instruments. It's either sampled or all manufactured in a computer. So it's a very cold medium. And I don't know what I'm listening for. I can't hear a person sweating. Like when I listen to the certain bands, because listen, the Ramones are simple. But try doing that whole thing for live and see what it is. That music's almost, it's got a sport element to it. There's an athleticism behind it. Add it in there, and I think you can hear it in the tune. So I don't even hear that when I listen. I don't hear the athleticism because it's made in the studio. The creation of it is different than how it would be created in a rehearsal studio with guitars and drums or even a piano or a keyboard. So I'm like, what am I listening for? Nothing. I don't know. The second thing is fake drums kind of drive me nuts. I don't know how to explain fake drums, but there's a lot of bands I've seen, it's just a pain in the butt to get the drummer, so they use fake drums. Okay. When I see it live, I'll see the bass, the guitar, the singing, there's organic music happening, but there's a wall. I don't know how to explain it. There's this like wall, and it's like this unmovable wall, and it's the fake drums. It feels heavy to me, like imposing. It's just, there's no breathe. And then the lyrics. So most modern lyrics, I don't identify with anything. I mean, I guess I could identify with a simple love song, but I would much rather hear a doo-wop guy do it. Or a nerdy punk rock dude sing it. Or like when you hear Sting sing a love song, I'm like, who cares? But when you see Joey Ramone sing a love song with his lanky, gawky look and his demeanor, to me that means something. It has a different meaning. It's more layered. It has I could go on and on. So I don't know what I'm supposed to be listening to or what's the enjoyable part. So a lot of people, it's just for dancing. All right. Okay, I get it. It has a beat you can... They have this thing that gets you to jump in the beat, right? So a lot of people like that, but I don't dance to that kind of stuff. So what makes it? Why do people like that stuff? What is going? Why do people like the auto-tune? Cher started that thing and took it way far. I think Cher's the first one to turn it up. prior to that, auto-tuning was postmodern jukebox. I don't even know what the hell that is. You gotta I don't. You gotta tell me. Yeah, Cher, like a lot of people had used auto-tune to fix something. I mean, heck, my band would do it once in a while. There was like a vocal track and you didn't want to have to cut the whole thing, and there was one little, you go in and you auto-tune it like a millisecond just to like give it a band-aid so that you don't have to spend another $1,000 in the rehearsal studio or the recording studio. So I get its use. I mean, yeah, it's a tool. We use all sorts of tools for video and stuff now. But when you use it as the hook, and we're going to talk about that right now. What's the difference between hook and melody and all this stuff? So I've been looking this up for a long time. There's actually a lot of research that shows that modern music today is very different than it was 20 years ago. And there's a lot of YouTube videos that say, don't touch my Cher. Listen, Cher can actually sing. She's got one of the coolest stage personas in voice. She used the not because she can't sing. The dummy producer added it in. I guarantee you she didn't add that in. That was the production team. And they did it because they know it works. It's an ear hook. It's a hook. It works. It's a melody. I'll explain it in a second. There's a science behind it, right? So I'm not gonna touch her Cher. I'm gonna touch the producer. Where was I? So the idea. What the hell was I talking about? I had a point I was gonna get to, but I lost it. It's fine. It'll come back. I have a lot of notes here. Oh, I know. There's a lot of videos that just do the whole like. The reason why you don't like modern pop is you're old. I've heard that a million times. You don't identify with it. You're old. You have a different. Oh, that's fine, but not what the research I'm finding is that's not what it's showing. So, some of you know this. There's only a couple writers in the business that write all the number one hits. That's one thing. There's less people writing these hit songs. On top of it, they're using a smaller palette of melody and things. They're using less melody. So melody is the do 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 do, right? A hook is a melody. Bill Yawn. Isn't that what got Weinstein in trouble, touching the producer? Yeah, maybe. So a hook is a melody, but like 3 notes. Do 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 do. Oh. Or the one that's in a billion pop songs. This would be a melody hook. Oh 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 oh. That one. It's a 5th down to the 3rd, back to the 5th. Used all the time. Constantly. Why? Because it works. There's a reason. It's not because they're trying to be creative and write a good song. That's not what they're trying to do. There's evidence that shows you the lyrical content got shrunk down to a certain few things. The timbre, or it's spelled Timbre. It's pronounced timbre. Timbre. A lot of people don't know what that is. That's the texture of the sound. That's what makes my me sound like me, or a certain guitar sound a certain way. It's part of the tone. It's part of the puzzle of the tone. It's kind of hard to explain what it is because it is very subtle. So there's less texture. Why? Because they're using computers to produce the stuff now. And when they need something, they go click and it's the exact same thing every time. They know how to just cut and paste now. It's not done with a metal string strung over a magnetic thing and you're hitting it at a certain volume. That's all gone. They've taken out the mechanics of most of these things. Same with drums. They've taken out the mechanics of it all and put it in a computer. Now let me ask you. If I took you to see a ventriloquist and it was a funny show and he had a dummy and it was a riot and you were like, wow, that was awesome. Like, I laughed my butt off, right? The dummy was funny. He's great. And then you found out that the guy, he's not a ventriloquist. They were playing a recording and he had memorized the puppet's lines with the recording. And it looked like he was doing it. Would it be the same? Well, you could say it was entertaining, but would it have the same context and feel? What's up? Is that Cassius? What's up, Cassius? So, hey, he's in my Dungeons and Dragons group. So, yeah, it really is missing a lot of elements. So, if you have a band, again, like just a guitar, like depends how hard he's going to hit it, the amp, there's a billion variables involved, and the actual performer's execution, I like to be able to feel it on the record, or at least notice it somehow. That's why I like live recordings, because it's the real deal all the way. That's why I like jazz. You can't track jazz with tracks. I mean, you could, but it would ruin it. Jazz is live. It's real. It's happening. You can't. If you listen to a jazz song that's famous, go listen to an outtake. Look up. You guys familiar with Jaco Pastorius? I'm going to tell you right now. If you guys, I know a lot of you do take notes on my show, which is, I love that you guys actually go look this stuff up. I blame science. Well, yeah, we're going to get into the science in a second. There's some actual science to this. Jaco Pastorius, hold on here. He has a song called Used to Be a Cha-Cha. That's the name of the song. Jaco, J-A-C-O, Pastorius, Used to Be a Cha-Cha. It's a really famous song. Benedetti, you know him. Dude, the dude is a bass guru. He was like, and he's still to this day considered one of the greatest bass players of all time. Used to Be a Cha-Cha. I'll get to that. Good one, Ashworth. There's an outtake on the CD that when they re-released the CD, I don't know, many years later, there's an outtake of the song, A Different Take. It's a different song. Yeah, it's got the same vibe, but when it gets down to the solos and the energy, it's so different. And that's just a different take. That's why I like jazz. It's live. We got some good stuff in here. This is a good chat tonight. Postmodern Jukebox from their YouTube channel. They take pop songs and perform them in sort of all styles. I'll look it up. That sounds kind of neat. I'll check it out. Ashworth says, is not modern day pop music a form of lesser magic? For those of you that don't know, lesser magic would be the type of, what's the layman term of lesser magic? Lesser magic is a type of, let's say, black magic, witchcraft, voodoo, occultism that relies not on a ritual or candle burning, but day-to-day interaction and demeanor and getting things that you want using yourself, your personality, your character, your clothing, your aesthetic on a psychologically subtle level. That would be lesser magic. Yes, it could be considered that, but Louis Armstrong, God, he was amazing. Such heart in the sound. Sounds like a person crying when he's playing. I mean, really. The thing about pop music as lesser magic is what's the end result is just to sell, to get you to keep listening to it so they can keep selling it. So yeah, sure, I guess. Well, okay, so here's the psychology. Let's talk about it. This is where it gets really neat. And yes, they have AI that makes music now. The industry knows this. And Bill Yon, check it out. Through evolution, this is what it is. So they know that if you like eating bananas, bananas are your favorite food, right? You were born eating bananas. You love them. It's your favorite thing in the world. through repetitive techniques. Apples, apples, apples. Apples are great. Apples are great. Apples are great. Hey, guess what? Apples are great. That works. And that will get you to like apples better than bananas. It's a terrible flaw in our human condition. It is what it is. It's a reality. And then familiarity, once they cross the line of, oh, hey, I kind of like it now, by hammering it, the more familiar it is, and the more you listen to these things, you produce more dopamine. You do get dopamine blasts from familiarity. Now, why did we evolve to do this? Well, we evolved to do everything for a reason. That's why I'm done with this free will stuff. There's a reason for everything. Anything that we do, there's an explanation. A clear explanation. When you read a little kid a book, like the book I showed tonight, why do little kids like to watch the same movies over and over again and read the same books over and over again? I mean, it's like you're getting a dopamine blast from this familiarity that makes you calm. Yes, William, our minds can program and can be programmed. And sometimes we don't notice it. Cassius. Very interesting comment. Cassius says, it would be funny if there was a live music performance and it was played by an AI and the AI messed up. Well, I can tell you that if I was going to program a robot to do an actual performance for a live crowd, I would definitely work into it bits like that to give it that feeling of live, right? Just like if I was going to program robots to interact with humans, you wouldn't program it to be robotic. You would program it to be more natural, which means there's more flub, it's not perfect. It's a little off a bit, right? That's what you would do. So great comment, Cassius. You're right. It's interesting. It's a really weird way to look at it. Like programming something perfect not to be perfect. Do you know what else is like that? Magic shows, mind reading shows. The people that are good don't make them perfect. It's better. It's almost like a juggler who never drops a ball. You kind of want to drop it at least once to remind the audience that it's real. There's a temple in Japan, outside of Tokyo, that was built so perfectly, the monks were like, yo, that's perfect. The gods are going to be really mad. I think we should maybe mess it up a little bit. So they put the last pillar in upside down. I love it. Oh, yeah. So Patrick Metzger. Patrick Metzger is the guy that figured out the whole thing. He calls it the millennial whoop. Oh. Yeah, he figured it out. He was like, look, there it is. They really do use it. So the familiarity gives you dopamine blast. The lyrical intelligence, they're making it easier to understand. The hook, they'll take one hook, two hooks, and they'll make a whole song out of just a few hooks. There's no melody. The chorus is just a hook, and the verse is usually a hook too. And they're longer songs. If they were 1 minute long, it might not be as bad, like some of the punk rock stuff. Yeah, so, all right. Oh yeah, remember the Grover? There's a monster at the end of this book. So, put some tomb. Oh my God. Oh wow, that is a tongue twister. Look at the comment on that. So, music manipulates us like theater. Yeah, all right, I wrote that down as an own thought. Music really does. Our audio has a very strong memory hook. So anything that you remember as a child via a song really has an anchor. It's almost like NLP. neurolinguistic programming where you think a thought and you push on your leg, and then whenever you push on your leg, you get the thought again, right? Music does that without the pushing on the leg. You identify with a certain feeling and an energy and a place and a smell, all from hearing something. And the reason why we're most likely to like the music of our 15-year-old age is because I guess that's when you're absorbing these things even stronger. You know, you've usually just discovered what you like. Cassie says, oh, yeah, well, of course, yes. People do change things a bit and add to it. Yep. Yeah, well, the thing about programming people is that's what advertising is. That's what music's trying to do. Everything's trying to get to you. Lesser magic, we are surrounded of it. Okay, William brings up some really great stuff. I'm going to get into that a bit. Not a lot, because that's almost its own episode. Okay. Yeah, well, metal and classical music. Okay, so let's talk about this. If you listen to, and we're going to talk about the hertz too. If I forget, William, bring it up again, okay? Because he's talking about the frequencies, which isn't stuff that you notice sometimes. Well, let's just go into that really quickly. Certain frequencies make us feel certain ways. There's a few frequencies that make us feel afraid. The lower 8 megahertz it is. This one here, he's saying 432 hertz, 440 hertz. It's the vibration of, like, I guess our internal clock. I really do believe that if you play that frequency, of course we're going to be more closer to it because we're more familiar to it. We might not notice it, but it's our subconscious. Of course, 100%. That's how this can, certain sounds and sound textures can be used for a magic purpose. Of course. That's why music is really good in a ritual setting because it can transform us, right? The brown note. Yes, the brown note is a frequency that can make you lose your bowel movement. You can make you just, you can't hold your body up anymore. There's high frequencies that hurt. There's low frequencies that make us see ghosts. I got a whole show on that I'm going to work on. I've been working on it, but it's hard. So, yeah, I do think they affect us, and they are used. You know, think about this. The subwoofer thing. The sub bass. When I was little, that I don't remember those. That's like a new thing. Like music made to have that farting bass noise. The brown note. Think of it this way. Pop music, when you listen to it over and over again, it feels good. But what is it getting your brain to do? Is it thinking? Is it listening? Or is it just being? Now, I am going to argue that people don't listen to music anymore. Few people listen to music anymore. And Wendy Carlos. I got to meet her a couple times. Wow. She got to see my magic. Woo, it was so cool. I was a fan. I keep forgetting my train of thought tonight. Because it's such a loose subject in my head. And I also keep reading your comments, and they're good tonight. This is a good one. What was I going to say? I keep forgetting my thoughts tonight. This is a subject I do think about a lot, which is maybe why it's hard for me to do, because it kind of is a loose, crazy vibe in my brain. When you listen to pop music, what is your brain doing? Well, most people are working out, or they're doing another activity, or they're cleaning their house, or they're doing all sorts of things, and it's background noise. It's to fill a gap. It's very anti-Taoist. You know, everyone's trying to fill their holes. You put one here, something in your mouth, your hand's busy, everything's busy, right? You don't want to just be and think. It hurts to do that for some people. So it became a background thing. It became convenient to play music. You put the thing in your ear, and there it is. It's going to get even more convenient. Do you guys know what laser sound is? If you don't know what laser sound is, right there, laser sound. I don't want to forget. King Diamond, Abigail, Them, Conspiracy, I the Witch, Love. New ones, Puppet Master, some of the songs on Spider's Lullaby. I mean, I could go on. I like all his stuff. It's really just background music. It really became that for a lot of people. Most people, they're driving, or they're just not listening to music. So laser sound technology, it's going to be even easier to listen to music. No more earbuds, people. Eventually, you won't have earbuds. I know this stuff because it was being used in the magic scene for a while, and now it's going to get released to the public. Imagine being able to listen to music with nothing in your ear, and the people around you can't hear it. They're able to shoot sound here so that it's here. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's very, very science fiction. So you'll be able to listen to music anywhere, anytime in your brain, right? The artwork that came with a record is gone. You know, it's a picture this big on your phone. And the act of playing a record it's not an event to just hit your iPod anymore. When I was a kid, we would go, let's listen to records. I remember Fran, if you're watching, I remember going to other people's houses. What was their name? The Hovens. I remember their names. It was my dentist, Dr. Hoven. I remember we went over there for something. They lived near us. And they would sit in a living room with the lights out in the basement living room and listen to music. And just experience this loud, over the top. And I remember them blasting Neil Diamond. And it breaks my heart people don't listen to music. So when you're not listening and you're listening to stuff that's just a couple of hooks flipped around a couple times, I'm going to read the comments. There's so many stuff in here. Yeah, TV's another background thing. They just play it in the background. Is it healthy for your brain? What does it do? Maybe it's good for you to get into like an alpha state where you're just kind of ready for bed. But is it nurturing your mind? It would be like this. What if you could read a novel or a book or whatever, anything. Or you could read a repetitive poem over and over again. Would that be good for you? Mary had a little lamb. She kept it in her yard. I don't want to do the Dice Clay joke. Then she poured some cement on the grass and then it got hard. And you read it over and over. Like, what is that going to do to your brain after doing it over and over and over and over? What are you thinking about? When you listen to classical music or jazz that actually has a melody that builds and changes with each moment, it doesn't even repeat itself sometimes in classical music. It might variant on a theme and go back to it, but it's not a repeat. Not at all. Another one to listen to, in pop music. Here's a real musician playing pop music. The Police, Stuart Copeland, the drummer. Listen to him play the drums on pop songs. Every loop of the beat is never the same. Never. He's a real musician. It's not the same. He changes it. Why? Because it's not programmed. He's just feeling it. It can make you a psychopath, says the kid who's what? How old are you, Cassius? This is a very smart 11-year-old. Really? It can make you a psychopath. When you put on a jazz album and you have to sit and pay attention to it, that's healthy. You're chewing on this thing and you're letting it hit you. When I listen to jazz or classical, I try to follow it, feel what's going on. I'm listening to what the composer was trying to say, and I'm also listening to how the conductor's bringing it out of the crowd, the orchestra. That's what I'm listening for. There's never lyrics usually, unless it's opera, but usually there's no lyrics. It requires extra effort. Yeah, you're 12, Cassius, and clearly you are very awake to what the problems are for pop music, which your age, Cassie, is 12. Man, I'm sure your friends all listen to pop music. I mean, how many of your friends, Cassius, at age 12 listen to like hardcore punk rock stuff? Probably not many. How many listen to just I like jazz? Probably not too many. I guess a lot of it has to do with the parents and what the parents like or what the parents present. Like my kids never were allowed, my house never had kids bop. You know, those kids music records? I was like, why is there kids music? Just play them good classical music or metal for that rate. My kids were raised on metal, punk, jazz, classical, whatever. Really, show tunes, opera, whatever. I played it all. A little bit of old school country, not a lot. Hip hop, again, I just never doesn't move me. I will occasionally put on Grandmaster Flash and jump around and sing. Occasionally, not often. Now we were going to talk about, there was something else. There was some really good comments in here. Fallon's bringing up some great stuff. Who was it that said smarter people like the sadder songs as they incur introspection and thought? Something perky songs do not do. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I heard Dead Kennedys. And I was just like, not only blown away by the timbre, the texture of his voice and the band, but and the rhythm and the melody, whatever, but the lyrics. When I got to finally hearing what he was saying, I was like, my heart skipped a beat because I'd never heard that kind of stuff put into lyrical form. Same thing with Guar. When I listened to what he was saying, I was like, whoa, yeah, they're monsters, but their lyrics. There's a few realities in them. There's the monster. There's him saying the stuff with a wink. There's a little bit of a mess. I mean, there's a lot going on. So I have this one clip. I'm going to play it at 9. I was going to play it at the end. Cassius. Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Tame Impala. Sharky. There you go. There's a Tame Impala fan right here who's 12. Radiohead. Yeah, okay. You like Boston. You like bands that play instruments. That's good. There's something to listen to. There's something to think about and emulate. You know, you could get a guitar, Cassius, and play along with those and feel how the musician learned the song. I learned from playing Ramones. Simple stuff, but I learned by playing their way, and then I kind of made up my own new way, you know? My favorite music to listen to as I get older is classical and opera and jazz. Those. A lot. I mean, a lot, like all day. it's funny because I do put it on as background music, but I'll stop and be like, wow, didn't notice that before. I like jazz because of the improv. The jazz added a new element. They were like, look, I mean, people, when jazz came out, they thought it was terrible. They're like, it's crap. Well, they said that because they didn't get exactly what was going on, because what was going on was kind of nuts. You know, they were writing these very basic shells of songs so that inside that shell, this other thing could exist. And that is improv. And improv is nothing like the garbage coming out of these music studios now. Nothing. It's so alive and real and happening on the moment, whether it be live on stage or in a recording studio where you're with your friends doing it also live. That's what jazz is. You're getting this spark of life, not processed by a dude that was hired to make lots of money, you know? I saw Zappa talking about, Zappa was like, look, you know why there was cool music coming out of that late 60s, early 70s scene? Because there weren't any hipsters involved. So think about this. In the old days, there was a bunch, and he called them cigar chomping old guys. Hey, you know, they got the cigar. I'm going to make you a deal. You know, the businessman, Hollywood guy. Hey, Marty, get over here. We're going to do a deal, right? Those guys, when they got the musicians that they were like, these guys are good, they kind of let them do what they wanted. They were like, we don't even know what this stuff is, but somehow people are liking it. Go. So the zap is we're getting major record deals. You think Frank Zappa would have got a big record deal now? Now, after the fact, people wanted to emulate these guys. They grew up with rock and roll. Now the cigar chomping guy is a hipster cigar chomping rich guy who thinks he knows better than the artist. And that's what's wrong with Hollywood, the music business, and all of the above, in my opinion. You have too many people that shouldn't be involved who probably came from a lot of money, probably didn't work their way up organically and learn the nuance and skill of the art of what it is before they put it on the plate. Okay. Interesting. Bill Yon brings up something. I love this group. This group is great. Folks, the reason why I do this show is because I have a great group. If I had a lame group in here, I would have quit this stuff months ago. But I got people in here that have things to say and things they've thought it out. Bill says, I think most people don't get improvisational jazz because there can be lots of dissonance in the tones, and that challenges the brain. Boom! And we, as a human race, evolved. We literally evolved to run from challenges. Anything that's a little stressful and uncomfortable, I'd rather go over here. That's the default. Not all of us are like that. I mean, I can be like that, but I lean to the other. If there's something that's a little harder, it makes me want to do it more sometimes. You know, I like challenges, but most people don't. That's a pretty good one there, Bill. Yeah, it does. It creates. I mean, if you listen to Coltrane, he makes his saxophone sound like a human crying sometimes. I mean, it literally chokes me up. When a melody can get me to well up and get a lump in my throat, that's art, folks. I don't need to hear the lyric. I can hear the notes can make me do it. Notes I never heard in that pattern. Not like a repetitive thing. Something new. It just, it hits you in the heart. Why? Because he's doing it from his heart. That's what it is. You can't do that in a computer with like processed. And then we didn't even talk about the compression trick they do. They have a trick with compression. Vaping replaced the cigars. Wow. That's a good analogy. Man, I'm going to have to chew on that one. The cigar analogy. Damn, I like it. Now, I have a clip of one of my favorite artists in the world. Of all time. I put him in my top 10 most influential human beings in my life. If there's kids watching, this guy says lots of bad words. There's the warning. If you're not allowed to listen to bad words, Cassius, you should, from somebody, you should not watch this. But you're probably allowed to. I don't know. I'm going to play you Odorous Urungus talking about the Grammy Awards. Odorous Urungus, this guy tattooed on my chest, was the lead singer of Gwar, a band I've seen more than most bands. King Diamond and Gwar are the ones I've seen the most. And as a kid, he to me was a really great role model for working class artists that did very well working their butt off without corporate people telling them what to do. And I know for a fact they weren't rolling in dough. When you have a band with, 15 people in it, the band and the crew and the other people involved, and you're playing middle-sized rock venues, it's not easy to pull off. Yeah, Dave Brocky's the man who played Odorous. And, so I'm going to play you Odorous Urungus getting interviewed about when Gwar got nominated for a Grammy. Best long form video. Here we go. Check it out.
Oh, it was an absurd disaster. It was a debacle. We went. They nominated us for a Grammy, and then they didn't even want us to come to the damn party. We showed up anyway. Hung around until Michael Jackson was done, and then beat it before Billy Ray Cyrus hit the stage. I mean, I could go on and on. We were posing for some stupid photograph with Michael Green, the president of NARIS at the time, and the LA Times had asked me, they said, Oderus, what do you think about being nominated for a Grammy? And I replied, quite honestly, it means nothing to me. It is a meaningless accolade bestowed upon Guar by a retarded child. Now, apparently that didn't go over very well with the showbiz community, whom I live to destroy. Now, let me tell you something. Those fucking celebrities giving each other awards is the last thing they need. Heaping gift bags with $50,000 watches inside of them, the privileged elites of your society, heaping prizes and praises and meaningless awards. What about an award for that girl who's working 60 hours a week so she can feed her 2 kids because her husband is overseas fighting your freaking war so you guys can have your gas-guzzling fucking... Sorry, I get a little worked up about that shit. And then Dave Grohl gets up there on the Grammys. He's like, yeah, I'm Dave Grohl. Oh, God, please let me suck some more corporate cocks. I get some more cocks in my mouth. I'm like, oh, quick, let's get some more cocks on stage for Dave Grohl to suck. He's not sucking enough. We think he can suck some more. Get Billy Joe from Green Day over here. Let him suck some cocks, too. They're like, okay, bring him in, guys, bring him in. Still, there wasn't enough cocks for Dave Grohl to suck. He actually, do you know that Dave Grohl had his teeth removed so he could fit more cocks in his mouth?
That's one of my favorite clips from him. I love it. He's talking about this, and I always do this. If you know me, I always do this. Oh yeah, Grammy. He does this. This is what I do. The music business is made up of this. Anointed ones. They get anointed. They're anointed. The people that don't ruffle feathers, do what they're told, follow the rules, and listen to what the big guys say with the big bucks, you're anointed. Go. Don't cross the line. That's, to me, what's wrong with the music business, Hollywood, and politics. The anointed ones. If you're not anointed, you're not allowed. Bye. So I removed myself many years ago, and when I see people like Oderus going on it, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that I was raised with him as my role model than the other, because it made me a free thinker. It really just, I found that stuff at the right age. If I wasn't in the right space and time, it might have not happened that way, but it did. I found all the right guys that spoke the things that made me go, I'm going to go do my own crap. Let's go do it now. I ain't waiting for nobody. I'm going to go hustle it myself. And when I see people like him, and he did die, what was it, 8 years ago now? I remember the morning I found out. I was taken. I couldn't believe it. I'm going to do a show on Guar one day. Big fan. As musicians, artists, social commentary, I do like the band as a band. I do think they wrote some great stuff. Yeah. And he's funny. Very funny guy. Wow. What a fun show. Dave was awesome. When I was working at a club called the Hoogans, yeah. Oh, wow. He lost his phone. It is a money game. It is. And I get it. I mean, when I was when my band got signed to Roadrunner, I forget who told us this, but they were like, look, if you go gold, you're not going to really make any money. I was like, what? Yeah, because they got to make their money back. They spent so much money that even if it goes gold, you're not really making money. If your second record goes gold or platinum, yeah, then you'll make a lot of money. It's like, oh, what a bad business. Bad, bad, bad business. Well, I never have to worry about that stuff. I operate 2014. There it is. I operate on my own rules. As I get older, I'm getting more into this 1% of like I have removed myself from most things. I'm glad I did. It's opened me up to a lot of other things. So, yeah. And Cassius is one of the kids in here. There is hope. There are a lot of free-thinking kids. Always look for the third side. Always. Something that if I had to give my kids a message to, like, if I was going to die, like, really pay attention, I would be like, no matter what's going on, you're going to be presented with choice A and choice B. There's going to be the black choice and the white choice. There's going to be the yin and the yang, right? Always. That's how people think. It's just easier. Pro wrestling has the good guy and the bad guy. And when the bad guy turns into the good guy, it's very clear. I would tell my kids, don't focus on that. Focus on the third side. Look for the third one. There's another opinion, and that's where the real truth is going to be closest. Not exact. That's my new trip. There's no such thing as fact anymore. There's no facts. They're all gone. Bye. Facts are done. There's always a truth. We'll never know it, though. You might get close, but you'll never know exact. So, yeah. Wow. What a great show. What a great group tonight. I'm going to, get out of here. Celebrate the rest of my Monday, my favorite day of the week. All the new people in here, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit the notify. If you don't hit the notify, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It really doesn't. They keep changing the rules. Yeah, Andy Kaufman of the 90s. Yeah, Guar really did something neat. They were a real band. I mean, they wrote great tunes that worked on a level on their own, but then you add in a visual element and a story, and yeah, you get modern opera. Crackhead opera. Wow. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. A couple more words. If you're new, hit the like and subscribe and notify. If you are the donating type, there's the donation. Not necessary, but if you do, it goes back in the show. And what else? I'm here on Wednesday, and I'm going to be back on Friday. And thank you, everybody. Yeah, that is the problem with politics, Talon. That's why I've removed myself. I'm out. I removed myself. Oh, thank you. That's the goal, bro. Corey, that's it. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I want people to leave here and go look up fun stuff. Because that's what I do. If I hang out with people, I go look up fun stuff. All right, Fallon. Thank you. Fallon, I'm going to send you that photo. I found a photo of me and Fallon from 8 years ago at a Halloween party. A great photo. I'll send that. I'll shoot that out tonight. What else? That's it. I'm wasting my time and your time now because I ain't got anything else to say. Thank you for coming in here. I got Talon, Hail Satan, Corey Cooper, Fallon, William, Sharky, Amanda, Cassius. Who else is in here? There's some I'm forgetting. Bill Yawn, Peter Benedetti, Ashworth, Libra Liz. Thank you, Corey. Talon, thanks. It really means a lot. Amanda, I'm going to mail your package out tomorrow. She won a prize on Friday, and I'm going to do another one this Friday. Another one. I'm going to do them every Friday now. And I'm going to mix it up. I think I have some other stuff to give away. I might give away some... I have game things too, but I'm going to save those for Boardgasm shows. It's probably going to be music stuff. We'll see. Might be t-shirts. Who knows? It might be posters. That's what it might be. All right, folks. My name is Cardone. You're watching episode 43 of my evening hour live show, and I'll see you on Wednesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Party on, everybody. And where is my end credits? Oh, I found them.